Ever slip on like a really nice leather jacket and kind of wonder, like, how did this even happen?
Yeah.
The journey from cow to closet is,
It's a process.
yeah, it's a wild one, right?
It is.
And right in the middle of all that is the leather goods warehouse operator,
Absolutely.
the unsung hero of the leather world.
Totally. And, with e-commerce, like, blowing up, right now we're talking a 15% increase in demand for these guys.
Wow.
Yeah, these skilled professionals.
So it's a career path worth a closer look then.
Definitely is.
Okay, so forget any just moving boxes stereotypes you might have, because this deep dive is about to change your perspective.
Oh, yeah.
We're going deep into the world of a leather goods warehouse operator, and honestly, what surprised me most is how much this role is evolving.
Yeah, it really is. It's this fascinating blend of hands-on expertise, and you're not going to believe this strategic thinking.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. That leather jacket you love
Okay.
started as just raw materials.
Right.
Maybe in Italy, Argentina, who knows?
Yeah.
It's the warehouse operator who makes sure all those pieces, the leather, the buckles, the zippers, flow smoothly from delivery to production.
It's like they're conducting an orchestra, but instead of instruments, it's,
Yeah,
high-grade leather hides.
that's a great way to put it.
And speaking of conducting, the career guide paints a pretty vivid picture of the day-to-day.
Uh-huh.
It's not all glamour, is it?
Well, let's just say it's not your typical climate-controlled office.
Yeah.
You're on your feet dealing with potentially noisy machinery.
Right.
And depending on the leather treatment processes,
Yeah.
there might be some chemicals involved.
Okay, so maybe not for the faint of heart.
Right.
But here's what I find interesting. Even with all the tech advancements, that hands-on aspect is still crucial, right?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't just about scanning barcodes anymore. It's about really understanding the nuances of the materials.
Okay.
Imagine a shipment of full-grain leather arrives. A good warehouse operator can tell just by touch if it meets the quality standards.
Wow.
That tactile experience is irreplaceable.
Really?
Yeah,
It's like being a leather sommelier or something.
it really is.
Okay, let's talk about the skills because, frankly, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The career guide emphasizes negotiation and persuasion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but those aren't the first things that pop into my head when I think warehouse.
Right. You think of someone who's like amazing at Tetris.
Yeah.
And hey, spatial reasoning is definitely part of it.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating here is that this role often involves navigating really complex situations.
Okay.
Think about it. A sudden spike in online orders means you might need to persuade suppliers to expedite a shipment.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe there's a quality control issue.
Yeah.
Now you're negotiating a solution with the production team.
So you're basically like a diplomat,
Yes.
except instead of peace treaties, you're hammering out deals for, premium calfskin.
Exactly. And those skills are only going to become more important as we see things like automation and AI entering the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe leather logistics ninja is a more accurate job title than I initially thought.
I like it.
Speaking of which, the career guide outlines a whole career ladder within this field, which I have to admit I didn't expect
Yeah.
at all.
It's true. You can start as a warehouse assistant and
Wow.
climb all the way up to warehouse manager.
Okay.
And each step up comes with a whole new set of challenges and expertise.
All right, so we've established that this isn't like, our grandma's warehouse or anything.
Definitely not.
But let's break down that career ladder you mentioned,
Yeah.
starting with the entry-level gig.
Right.
What does a warehouse assistant actually do all day?
Okay, picture this.
Okay.
You walk into this bustling warehouse, the air thick with the smell of leather,
I love it already.
and as a warehouse assistant, you are in the thick of it.
Okay.
You're organizing inventory
Mm-hmm.
from that shipment of Italian calfskin we talked about
Okay.
to rolls of like buttery soft suede.
You're receiving shipments, learning the ropes from the ground up, and mastering the art of the ski-u.
Yes.
Hold on. I know you're not talking about jet skiing in a warehouse right now.
Not quite. No.
Okay.
And ski-u, or stock keeping unit,
Okay.
is the warehouse's secret code for tracking every single item.
Got it.
Imagine it like a product's unique fingerprint.
Okay.
And as a warehouse assistant, you become fluent in this language.
Okay. So attention to detail is huge here.
Absolutely.
I'm picturing those folks who color code their spice rack.
Yeah.
This might be their calling.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
But it's not all solo missions either.
Right.
You're working side by side with like these seasoned pros,
Oh.
soaking up their knowledge like a sponge.
Nice.
And as you prove yourself, you're on your way to becoming a warehouse coordinator.
which honestly sounds way more official.
I know, right?
What changes in that role?
Think of it as leveling up.
Okay.
Now you're not just organizing, you're orchestrating.
Okay.
Remember that conversation about negotiation and persuasion?
Yeah.
This is where it kicks in.
Right.
You're coordinating with suppliers,
Okay.
making sure those raw materials arrive on time,
Right.
so that limited edition run of handbags isn't delayed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're basically the conductor of the leather supply chain,
Yes,
making sure that symphony of materials plays out flawlessly.
exactly. And the cool part is you're starting to use data
Oh, wow.
to fine-tune the whole operation.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah.
you might notice a pattern, like a particular type of thread always runs low during peak season.
Right.
As a coordinator, you can flag that suggest adjustments.
Okay.
Maybe even explore new suppliers to keep things running smoothly.
Okay. Detective work and data analysis in a leather warehouse.
Right.
Who knew?
It's a hidden gem.
This whole field is so much more dynamic than I ever imagined.
It really is. And it's only getting more high-tech.
Oh, really?
The career guide talks about how automation and robotics are transforming warehouse work. Okay, so are we talking robot overlords taking over the leather industry now?
Not quite.
Okay.
While automation is definitely changing the game,
Yeah.
the human touch is still essential,
Right.
especially when it comes to high-quality leather goods.
That makes sense.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't trust a robot to assess the grain or the suppleness of a piece of leather, would you?
Definitely not. My online shopping habits are already questionable enough without a robot picking out my leather jackets for me.
Right.
All right, so we've gone from organizing inventory to coordinating suppliers.
Yeah.
What's the next rung on this leather-scented ladder?
Next up,
Okay.
warehouse supervisor.
Okay.
This is where those leadership skills we talked about come into play.
Gotcha.
Remember those negotiation skills, those problem-solving muscles?
Yeah.
Now you're flexing them daily as you lead and motivate your team.
So it's not just about knowing where every hide of leather is.
Right.
It's about managing the people who keep those hides moving.
Exactly.
You're the bridge between upper management and the warehouse floor,
Mm-hmm.
making sure everyone's on the same page
Okay.
and that those Italian leather sofas ship out on schedule.
Sounds like a high-pressure gig, but also a chance to really shape the team and make your mark on the company.
100%.
Yeah.
And then the pinnacle of this career path, the Everest of the leather goods warehouse,
Oh,
the warehouse manager.
okay. I'm already picturing a corner office with a panoramic view of stacked leather hides.
Of course.
So what does a day in the life of a warehouse manager look like? Well, before we start measuring for those corner office drapes,
Right.
let's talk about what this top-level role really entails.
Okay.
It's not just about leather anymore, right?
It's way bigger, bolder. even.
Okay.
Now you're thinking long-term strategy,
Mm-hmm.
envisioning the future of the whole warehouse operation.
Wow.
You're analyzing market trends.
Okay.
Maybe there's a surge in demand for vegan leather alternatives
Yeah.
or a new tanning process that's more sustainable. You're staying ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
adapting your strategies to stay competitive.
So you're not just managing inventory anymore.
Right.
You're managing the future of the company's leather supply chain.
Basically.
Yeah,
That's a lot of responsibility.
it is. It is, but it's also incredibly rewarding.
Yeah.
You're shaping the way a company sources, manages, and distributes its most valuable materials,
Mhm.
all while leading a team of really dedicated professionals.
Right.
And remember those negotiation skills we talked about?
Yeah.
As a warehouse manager, you're putting them to the test at a whole new level,
Okay.
securing the best deals, building those strong relationships with suppliers worldwide.
Okay. You've officially sold me on the career potential here.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how do you actually land one of these jobs,
Yeah.
especially in such a specialized field?
That's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Right.
The career guide has a whole section on interview questions.
Okay.
And let me tell you, they're not messing around. Okay, give me an example. What kind of question separates the leather enthusiasts from the leather logistics ninjas?
Okay, here's one that stood out to me.
Okay.
Imagine a shipment of leather arrives damaged.
Yeah.
How would you handle it?
Oh, wow.
Now, you might think this is just about understanding warehouse procedures,
Yeah.
but it's so much more than that.
Okay.
It's about showing you can think critically under pressure.
So you need to walk them through your thought process.
That's exact.
Assess the damage, document everything, contact the supplier,
Yes,
find a workaround to minimize production delays.
exactly.
It's like a masterclass in problem solving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where those soft skills we discussed really come into play.
Okay.
Can you communicate clearly and effectively with different teams?
Mm,
Can you negotiate a solution that works for everyone involved?
right.
That's what they're looking for.
So it's less about having all the answers
Yes.
and more about how you approach the problem.
Exactly.
What's the best way to prepare for these kinds of curveballs? Asking for a friend who might be considering a career change.
Sure. Well, RoleCatcher, the source for our deep dive today,
Right.
offers some really cool tools,
Yeah.
including mock interviews and personalized AI feedback.
What?
But even if you're not like actively job hunting,
Mm-hmm.
practicing those critical thinking and communication skills is invaluable,
Yeah.
no matter your field.
Absolutely. Because let's face it, life throws curveballs,
It does.
whether you work in a warehouse or not.
That's true.
So to wrap up our deep dive into the world of the leather goods warehouse operator,
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Don't underestimate the power of a hidden gem career path.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
This is a field where traditional craftsmanship meets cutting-edge technology,
Totally.
where strategic thinking is just as important as like knowing your way around a pallet of leather.
Right.
And with the industry constantly evolving, who knows what exciting innovations are just around the corner.
And that, my friend, is something to ponder as you lace up those leather boots or sling that beautifully crafted bag over your shoulder.
Absolutely.
The next time you're admiring a piece of leather work,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate the journey it took to get there
Yes.
and the skilled professionals who make it all possible.
Definitely.
Until next time, happy exploring.